Companies I work with are not run by the best operators. This one's gonna ruffle some feathers, but it's based on just data, nothing of my opinion. So I've worked with hundreds of land clearing companies over the last 5 years, and the guys doing $200,000-$300,000 a year, incredible on the machine, can clear 5 acres faster than most guys with the same machines. But the guys doing $1 million plus, half of them couldn't necessarily tell you the details about the torque specs on the mulcher, but they can tell you their close rate, they can tell you their cost per lead, they can tell you exactly how many estimates are sitting in their pipeline. The best NFL coaches never played it down. The best restaurant owners aren't the ones cooking. And at some point you have to decide, are you going to be the best operator in your market or the best owner? The machine doesn't grow your business, you do. And you can't do that if you're covered in the machine 10 hours a day. Now, at some point you are there, but you have to move past that. What's holding you back from making that shift? I posted about this before, and it gets a lot of pushback of guys saying like, well, I'm not going to work for anybody that doesn't know how to run the machine. I'm not saying you have to not be a good operator to be an owner. I'm saying it's a different skill set. And when you learn the skill set of running a business and owning a business, not having a job or just knowing how to run the machine and talk to a customer, which business is way, way more than that, that's how you actually grow. Now, if you just want to have a high risk, decent paying job and be, you and a helper for the rest of your business, like, that's fine. But what I'm telling you is, by the data, the guys who grow to a profitable company that can create generational wealth for their family, this is what they do. They become owners. They don't become the best operators. They focus on the numbers of the business. They focus on how to grow the business and what those next steps are. And just being the best operator or having the most operating skill or experience is not the skill that grows the business. Now, it's probably the skill that got you to the point where you can now choose to become the owner. But from what I've seen guys come in from white collar and start these businesses because they know how to run businesses, and they just hire the right operators right out the gate, and they grow 10 times faster than these guys who came up operating the machine. And a lot of you are going to say, I'm not going to work for somebody, who doesn't know how to operate the machine or whatever. I think you should still understand all the different parts of the business, right? But I mean, look at the biggest companies. And I'm not saying you have to want to be a $1 billion company, but these big companies, like the Walmart guy, whoever owns Walmart, he doesn't probably know how to run the register, right? Bezos probably doesn't know how to work the machine on the line. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you learn to own and run the company, you can affect more lives, including your family's lives, further, more often, and be able to actually do more, hire more people, affect more people in your market, serve your market better. It's just better. Now, it's hard, right? It's hard. Sometimes we get comfortable and it's easier to just run the machine all day or do the maintenance or, do everything yourself. It's not easy, but it's easier because you don't know how to grow the business yet. And so it's easier to just work hard all day and avoid the stuff you don't know how to do. Hope you have a good day.